Astronomers spent months thinking 3I Atlas was simply another cosmic wanderer, a frigid traveler drifting through our system with the detachment of a riverstone that has no knowledge of its destination. Distant. It was small. It was fast. It was, and mysterious, though it appeared, it wasn't meant to matter. Then the data started to whisper. Those whispers evolved into patterns. Those patterns transformed into something deeply unsettling. A deviation, real but tiny. Nearly 100,000 kilometers, that's how much its trajectory changed. So mathematically unlikely was this shift that it rattled even the most cautious orbital analyst's confidence. The worst part, this shift didn't hurl the object into the void of empty space or send it careening unpredictably. Instead, it nudged it with surgical precision toward Jupiter's gravitational kingdom's invisible edge, the heliosphere, a realm where the planets' pull outweighs the sun's, and where objects can remain suspended as though trapped in a silent gravitational web engineered to hold them forever. This wasn't meant to occur. Not naturally, not with ease, not statistically. Such a perfect rendezvous has a probability of 1 in 26,000. So low is this number that it feels less like chance and more like orchestration. The other mystery is the nucleus no larger than the Vatican, the enormous coma extending hundreds of thousands of kilometers in all directions. The survival of a solar passage that should have destroyed it. The early blurry images that sparked speculation. The unusual composition rich in the tale that won't behave as tales typically do. All of it starts to feel like a puzzle whose pieces were never intended to be apart. Yet here they float before us, demanding assembly. We're diving into 3I Atlas's story now. Its survival, its impossible navigational accuracy, and the reasons some scientists, Avi Loeb included, think what we're witnessing might not be random whatsoever. This video's end might have you viewing Jupiter not as a planet silently waiting in darkness, but as a destination, and viewing 3I Atlas not as a comet, but as a messenger. Small enough to dismiss initially was the shift, a curve barely separable from noise. But fresh observational data fed into orbital models by astronomers made the deviation persist. It crystallized instead into something chillingly consistent. Roughly 100,000 kilometers. That's how much 3I Atlas altered its course during perihelion passage. The precise moment the object endured the sun's most intense heat. A moment of control this shouldn't have been. Chaos it should have been. Ice melts under solar radiation. Violent jets of sublimating gases trigger. Fragile interstellar bodies destabilize. What Atlas did, however, was anything but chaotic. Random, its shift was not. Directional it was, smooth, and aligned with the new path, pointing almost exactly toward Jupiter's heliosphere's outer fringe. Here lies the statistical horror. The probability that an interstellar visitor randomly not only survives a close solar encounter but also modifies its trajectory enough to align nearly perfectly with Jupiter's gravitational boundary is 0.385%. That low do probabilities drop. You cease thinking about chance and start thinking about intention, or, at minimum, unknown dynamics in play. Approaching the sun. Every known comet from our solar system suffers. They crack, fracture, they do. Under thermal stress, their nuclei burst like frozen stones hurled into a bonfire. Unscathed, even large, dense comets rarely emerge. Yet 3I Atlas, tiny already, barely 1 kilometer wide, should have been more vulnerable still. From its solar encounter, it emerged instead. Not weakened, not shattered, not shedding fragments, but intact. Perfectly intact. Not just curious, is this survival? It's unprecedented. Atlas had disintegrated. Scientists initially thought when blurry images misidentified another comet K1 Atlas as our interstellar visitor's fragmented remains. The mistake corrected. Astronomers realized the truth was more disturbing still. The kind of heat and tidal forces that should have been its death sentence, 3I Atlas had endured them. What kind of structure holds together with such strength? What kind of material withstands that stress? Why does a nucleus so small behave like something engineered, rather than something assembled haphazardly in some distant system's icy outskirts? A massive interstellar giant. Initial assumptions painted Atlas as such. Those assumptions crumbled once better telescopes observed it. Beneath its extraordinary coma lies a nucleus so small it nearly defies belief. Less than a kilometer in diameter, the Vatican's size comparable. Everything gets rewritten by this discovery. Such a colossal coma shouldn't be produced by a nucleus this small unless its composition is saturated with volatile ices, far richer than anything local comets contain. Questions that cut into planetary science's very bone are raised by this. The sun. How did such a tiny object survive it? A coma more than twice Earth's diameter. How does such a small core generate it? What chemistry is at play? When characteristics never seen in our system are carried by an interstellar object, it becomes a messenger from another kind of planetary nursery. One where structures and behaviors we were never prepared to observe are created by conditions. Not its nucleus, but its atmosphere is perhaps 3I Atlas's most bizarre feature. A CO2 coma stretching almost 350,000 kilometers in every direction. Normal, this is not. Not in the slightest. water vapor, dust, and small amounts of CO2. These are what solar system comets primarily release. Carbon dioxide in quantities we've never recorded in any comet before, local or interstellar, is what Atlas spews. An environment colder and more extreme than anything around our sun is suggested by this chemical imbalance. Even stranger is the coma's behavior. Like a chaotic gas plume, it doesn't react, but forms instead a steady, structured envelope, almost as though the object's outgassing is regulated by something about it. This is why over whether the object is natural or something else entirely. Scientists argue because messy nature tends to be, yet a recipe we don't understand appears to be followed by Atlas. Among the earliest controversies around Atlas were its photographs. So blurry, so featureless were the images NASA released. They looked like lens smudges more than a cosmic visitor, from instruments never designed to track a fast, faint, interstellar object. These images came data they recorded, not aesthetics. The photo release's delay, however, partially caused by the US government shutdown, fueled a speculation avalanche. So bad. Why were the images late? Why were they nothing? Why did they show at Atlas? Once better telescopes looked Hubble, Webb, Vera Rubin, Observatory clearer, the truth became too small to resolve sharply was the nucleus simply, and too large and diffuse to offer contrast was the coma. Even in high-resolution images, however, something disturbing remains. Any cometary tail we've cataloged, Atlas's tail does not resemble them. From expected behavior, its curvature, its density distribution, and its alignment with the sun's radiation all deviate. Not a tail is a tail that refuses to obey physics. It's a clue. Only the third confirmed interstellar object to enter our solar system is Atlas, after Oumuamua and like its predecessors, more questions than answers it brings. Like a comet, Borisov behaved, but unusually volatile was it. Like nothing at all, Oumuamua behaved, accelerating without visible outgassing and spinning like a flattened metal shard. Traits from both Atlas combines the hyperbolic path of an interstellar traveler it has, the chemical oddities of a foreign comet, and the dynamical weirdness of an object that according to natural expectations does not behave. Hyperbolic velocity, survivability, tiny size, massive coma, and trajectory shifts when you combine. Like you're studying a comet you no longer feel. Like you're studying a question you feel, toward the constellation Sagittarius, a region near the galactic core where interstellar density rises and star formation histories become chaotic. Atlas's origin point traces back, like our sun. Whatever birthed Atlas wasn't from a place where under unfamiliar rules, chemistry, and gravitational forces shape objects. It came, never bound to our system. Its velocity ensures it was from another star it flew in and will fly out again. Yet before leaving, determined it seems, consciously or not, to brush Jupiter's gravitational influence. What unsettles astronomers most is this. Scenic detours. Visitors don't take, they pass through. Course, they don't correct. They don't aim. 1 in 26,000. That is the chance that within the exact border of Jupiter's hillsphere, by coincidence, a comet, any comet, much less an interstellar one, would pass. Not just small, is 1 in 26,000. Narratively suspicious it is. Rolling a die and watching it land on its edge, perfectly balanced, over and over again. It feels like that. Nature leaving breadcrumbs to something we haven't acknowledged, yet it feels like that. Like intention, it feels, that word, scientists don't like, but probabilities don't lie. A non-gravitational acceleration. During its closest approach to the sun, Atlas experienced 2 natural jets of gas escaping from its surface. NASA attributes this normal cometary behavior. But so precise were this push's vector and magnitude that almost perfectly with Jupiter's hillsphere they aligned the object. Chaotic bursts. The sun's heat should have caused, not propulsion. Yet the equivalent of a course correction appears to be what occurred. More eerie still is the timing. While Atlas was hidden behind the sun, out of our direct observational reach, it happened. Eyebrows, decisions made in the dark always raise a question that seems absurd until you consider the data. Avi Loeb asks, not acting randomly, if Atlas is, then why Jupiter? Simple, yet chilling, is his reasoning. The gravitational powerhouse of the solar system is Jupiter. Enormous is its hillsphere. Stable are its Lagrange points. From any point in the galaxy, its location is visible. If observational probes silently and efficiently in advanced civilization wanted to deploy Jupiter, they would use not Earth, not Mars, but the gas giant whose gravity for millennia could capture or stabilize these probes. In this interpretation, a cosmic harbor Jupiter becomes, and a delivery vessel Atlas becomes. On March 16, 2026, within roughly 53.4 million kilometers of Jupiter, Atlas will glide, almost identical to its hillsphere's radius on that date. Too perfect to ignore is this alignment. Natural if Atlas were the single most extraordinary coincidence ever recorded. This would be artificial if it were The ideal insertion point for releasing something, this would be small probes, autonomous devices, dormant sensors into gravitational conditions that almost no energy to exploit require. Not just a boundary is the Hillsphere, an opportunity it is, that into Jupiter's gravitational edge, Atlas could be positioned to release SADS technological probes. Loeb speculates, Hollywood saucers or glowing orbs, these wouldn't be silent, inert devices designed to activate only when needed, they would be advanced enough to build such things. A civilization would not waste energy sending active spacecraft. Inside natural-looking objects they would hide them, letting physics do the work. And if anything, Atlas releases, immediately we might not detect it. Microscopic, metallic, dark, cold, invisible they could be. Recalculated, the more the orbit is, more perfect the alignment becomes. Not drifting is the deviation, it is tightening. Not wandering is the path, it is focusing. Either a natural phenomenon we do not yet understand or something far more intentional. This is the kind of behavior that points to one of these, to explain why toward the same outcome so many independent anomalies converge. Even skeptics struggle. Being coincidence. At some point, coincidence stops. Exotic theories, not all scientists embrace, that through natural, albeit extreme cometary behavior, the trajectory can still be explained. NASA maintains, while stretched to their limit, technically viable, the outgassing models remain. While low, not impossible, is the probability of a near pass to Jupiter's Hill sphere. And while unusual, artificiality, the survival of the Sun, does not prove. The spectroscopic data expected during the December 19, 2025 flyby will reveal whether natural comet activity, the jet patterns, and chemical compositions match. If they do, into an extraordinary but natural case, the mystery collapses. If they don't, for all time, then the story changes. On the brink of an astronomical revelation, we stand. Closer to Jupiter's gravitational frontier, every update brings Atlas. Another inconsistency, every new image exposes. The trajectory, every revised model tightens. Either this object as a natural miracle of interstellar chemistry, or something far more provocative we will soon confirm. A visitor with purpose, a messenger with design, a courier carrying secrets older than our sun. To one singular fact, in the end, everything returns. On its way to Jupiter, 3I Atlas is, and it should not be, not by chance, not by physics, not by probability. When it shouldn't have, the sun, it survived. When it shouldn't be intact, it remains. When it shouldn't produce such a coma, tiny as its nucleus. When it shouldn't be controlled, precise is its acceleration. And now, with a precision that feels scripted, the gravitational edge of the largest planet in the solar system it approaches. If nothing happens, of comets, we expand our understanding. If something happens, of itself, then humanity will have to expand its understanding. And now, after examining every anomaly, every deviation, every improbable number, and every unanswered question surrounding 3I Atlas, at a place that feels less like an ending and more like a threshold, we arrive. A narrow doorway between what about the universe we think we know and what for years the universe has been quietly trying to tell us. Because when all the evidence you gather, the 100,000 kilometers course correction near the sun, the survival that comet physics contradicts, the tiny nucleus wrapped inside a colossal CO2 atmosphere, the tale that solar wind logic refuses to follow, the blurry early images that more than they reveal conceal, the perfect alignment with Jupiter's Hill sphere, the 1 in 26,000 probability, and the whispers of possible sundas waiting to be released. That about a comet, this story was never really. You begin to realize, about perspective it was, about the way sometimes the cosmos forces us to look again at things we too quickly label as random or harmless or insignificant when anything but in reality they might be. Us, 3I Atlas challenges because at the crossroads between the explainable and the impossible it stands. Technically, within the realm of natural physics, NASA's models still fit, but only if at once every extreme occurs. Extreme sublimation, extreme statistical coincidence, extreme survivability, extreme chemical composition. And at some point, whether on the same fragile tower truly serves the truth or simply protects our comfort. Stacking every improbable explanation, one must ask. And on that tower's other side stands a more daring possibility. That alone, Atlas is not acting. That too, a plan older and more deliberate than anything our species has ever encountered. Its trajectory, its chemistry, its acceleration, even its timing might belong. To jump to fantasies of alien motherships or sentient machines to acknowledge this possibility, we don't need. Far simpler is something enough. Inside an object designed to mimic nature, a probe hidden for centuries across interstellar space, a passive messenger drifting, a silent courier that only when a gravitational giant like Jupiter enters its field of opportunity activates. But the truth is that in this moment, right now, we don't know. Simply the most extraordinary comet in recorded history, or a visitor with purpose. If Atlas is, we don't know, an astronomical coincidence or a cosmic appointment, if its approach to Jupiter will be, we don't know. Quietly, if March 2026 will come and go, or if in Jupiter's gravitational wake something will be left behind. We don't know. Something small, dark, silent, and patient. The solar system, the way we watch the stars, watching, that already changed us. 3i Atlas has. What we do know is, because objects like this don't just rewrite orbital charts. The way we look at the universe, the way we look at our instruments, and the way we look at ourselves, they rewrite. And perhaps beneath its coma and tail, that is the real message hidden. That not a place of silence but of signals is the universe. And that sometimes wrapped in ice, disguised as coincidence. Disguised as something we think we've seen before but never truly understood. Those signals arrive. So, for the December 2025 flyby as we wait, as their spectrometers and telescopes astronomers prepare, and as toward Jupiter's hill sphere, the countdown ticks silently in the dark, unavoidable, one truth remains. Not just observers to this story, we are participants we are. Because naturally, whether Atlas behaves or reveals something unimaginable, one step deeper into the cosmic conversation, the result will push humanity. Whether for that conversation we're ready, the question is not. Whether in fact already begun the conversation has, the question is, and if you, this journey through the unknown has captivated. If the nature of cosmic visitors, it made you question. If at the sky, with a different kind of curiosity or even a hint of unease, it left you staring. Here, then don't let the story end. Subscribe so in this unfolding mystery, the next update you don't miss. Turn on notifications because fast Atlas is moving and at any moment the next anomaly could break. With someone who needs to know what's happening above our heads. Share this video. Someone who still believes simple comets are and harmless coincidences are. And telling me what you think, leave a comment. Just an extraordinary comet or the first page of a much larger message is 3i Atlas.